Rule 10. Spot checks, accosting and pat-down searches. 10.1. Grounds for spot check, search. A. Spot check, accosting. The police officer may stop an individual for the purpose of conducting a spot check, accosting only when reasonable suspicion exists. Reasonable suspicion must be more than just a hunch or feeling. In justifying the stop, the police officer must be able to point to specific facts that, when taken together with rational inferences, reasonably warrant the stop. Such facts include, but are not limited to, the following. 1. The appearance or demeanor of the individual suggests that he is part of a criminal enterprise or is engaged in a criminal act. 2. The actions of the individual suggest that he is engaged in a criminal activity. 3. Questionable presence of the individual in the area. 4. The subject is carrying a suspicious object. 5. The suspect's clothing bulges in a manner that suggests he is carrying a weapon. 6. The suspect has been found in the time and place proximate to an alleged crime. 7. The police officer has knowledge of the suspect's prior criminal record or involvement in criminal activity. And 8. The individual flees at the sight of a police officer. B. Body frisk, pat-down search. A police officer has the right to perform a pat-down search if the individual has been legitimately stopped with reasonable suspicion and when the police officer has reason to believe that the individual possesses weapons on his person and poses a threat to the police officer's or another person's safety. Circumstances which may justify pat-down search. 1. The type of crime believed to be committed by the subject, particularly crimes of violence where the threat of use or use of deadly weapon is involved. 2. Where the police officer handles several suspects. 3. The time of the day and the location where the pat-down search took place. 4. Prior knowledge by the police officer of the suspect's use of force or propensity to carry deadly weapons. 5. The appearance and demeanor of the suspect. 6. Visual indications suggesting that the suspect is carrying a firearm or other deadly weapon. And 7. Whenever possible, pat-down searches should be performed by police officers of the same gender. 10.2. Procedures and guidelines. A. Spot check, accosting. 1. When approaching the individual, the police officer shall clearly identify himself as a police officer. If not in uniform, the police officer must identify himself by announcing his identity and displaying official identification card or badge. 2. Police officers shall be courteous at all times but maintain caution and remain vigilant for suspicious movements like attempting to retrieve weapon, conceal or discard contraband, or other similar actions. 3. Before approaching more than one individual, police officers should determine whether the circumstances warrant a request for backup and whether the spot check, accosting can and should be delayed until such backup arrives. 4. Police officers shall confine their questions as to the person's identity, place of residence, and other inquiries necessary to resolve the police officer's suspicion. However, in no instance shall a police officer hold a person longer than the period reasonably necessary to be able to make these limited inquiries and to resolve suspicions. 5. Police officers are not required to inform the person of his rights under the law, example, Miranda warning, anti-torture law, etc., unless the person is placed under arrest. B. Body frisk, pat-down search. When reasonable suspicion justifies a pat-down search, the search should be performed with due caution, restraint, and sensitivity. Pat-down searches should be conducted in the following manner. 1. Whenever possible, pat-down searches should be conducted by at least 2 police officers, one to perform the search while the other provides protective cover. 2. Because pat-down searches are cursory in nature, they should be performed with the suspect in a standing position, or with hands placed against a stationary object, and feet spread apart. However, should an officer visually observe a weapon, a more secure search position may be used like the prone, lying face down, position. 3. In a pat-down search, officers are permitted only to feel the outer clothing of the suspect. Police officers may not place their hands inside the pockets of the subject's clothing unless they feel an object that could probably be a weapon, such as a gun, knife, club, or the like. 4. If the suspect is carrying an object such as a handbag, suitcase, briefcase, sack, or other similar items that may conceal a weapon, the police officer should not open the item but instead put it in a place out of the suspect's reach. 5. If the external padding of the suspect's clothing fails to disclose evidence of a weapon, no further search may be made. If a weapon is found in the possession of which amounts to a violation of the law, the police officer shall arrest the suspect and conduct a complete search of his person. 10.3. Reporting after the spot check, accosting or pat-down search. If after conducting a spot check, accosting or pat-down search, the police officer has no basis for making an arrest, he should record the facts of such spot check, accosting or pat-down search and forward a report to the appropriate authority. If the spot check, accosting or pat-down search gives a justification for a valid warrantless arrest, then an arrest shall be made.
This presentation is prepared by Police Staff Sergeant Marlon Fernandez Anabeza, a bona fide member of PNP Class 2011-01, Batch Exodus. PNP Scout, Class 34-2012, Batch Sick Lab. PNP SWAT, Class 2014-01. Batch Hitman. PNP Criminal Investigation Course, Class 363-2015.